This is Amazing Kong, and you are listening to In Your Head.
All right, we're back here once again at In Your Head, and now we're joined by Tatevik. I feel horrible. The Gamer.
No.
She has a beautiful name.
It's Tatevik. You almost had it right.
Yes, Tatevik. It is a beautiful name, honestly.
Oh, thank you.
You're very welcome. Nope. We had Leilani Kai on here before, and she not too long ago, just recently, she talked about you being her protege. And how did you meet Leilani Kai?
I first met Leilani at WoW because she was one of the trainers at WoW, and I met her through my first trainer, Steve, and we just kind of hit it off from there.
Mm-hmm. Now, had you been a fan of Leilani, like her work before you got to meet her?
Man, you know what? I feel like I just came out of a cave. When I met Leilani, and I guess I didn't know anybody in the business.
Mm-hmm.
In the wrestling business before I stepped in. So when I first met Leilani, obviously I didn't know who Leilani Kai was, and it took me a while to kind of do my research and find out that she was a brand name.
Mm-hmm. You say you said like you came out of a cave here and didn't know a lot of people in the business. What like drew you to the wrestling?
I didn't know anyone.
What drew you to want to pursue wrestling in the first place?
You know what? I didn't want to pursue wrestling in the first place. I mean, it took me about a year to decide whether or not I wanted to do this. And the reason I say that is because I had other things going on for me. I have a career in acting, and then I got into some acting. So, and obviously, training in martial arts with Sensei Benny, I already had a lot going on, and I didn't know if I would, be able to take that up. And the reason why was because I didn't want it to, be too much for me at the time. I was taking one career at a time. And I don't know, I just made a decision to go to the auditions and just try it out and see if it was something that I would enjoy. And it just, it came very naturally to me, obviously, when I first did it. So I was like, man, this is up my alley. Yeah. This is what I want to do.
Now, I know you have a background in dancing, and you said about the theater and also the MMA. Do you have all those things been helpful for training to be a wrestler and in your wrestling career?
Absolutely. I wouldn't be, I still would be able to wrestle, but I wouldn't be as natural and fluid, at it as, I wouldn't catch on as quick as I did if I didn't have the background with dance and theater and acting and martial arts especially. Mm-hmm. So, everything just kind of, those are my tools. That's what I use, to make me stand out and put me forward and, ahead of everybody else. Mm-hmm. Nope. And that's why I stuck out to Leilani Kai, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Now, having the MMA background and, training for in martial arts, did any of the people from that world look down on the wrestling side?
Look down on it?
Yeah, MMA's quote unquote a legit sport, and then you would go do wrestling. Did anyone was everyone from the MMA side, were they cool with that, or did anyone say, "Oh, you should stay away from this"?
Oh no, they were very excited. Mm-hmm. I talked to them about that. I said, I'm not sure if this is something that I want to take up, but they encouraged me. They encouraged me to actually go ahead. In other words, I had their blessings. I had my sensei's blessing. And Sensei Benny's mother was a professional wrestler.
Oh.
And, yeah. So, and his sister also. So it ran in the family. So no, they were very happy and excited for me. Mm-hmm. And that just kind of made me more comfortable, for me to step in.
Yeah. How different is the training from MMA and professional wrestling?
It's not very different. Yeah, it is different, but I almost bring my training from an MMA into the square circle. And I feel like I'm being honest with you. I know it's very natural to me when I get in the ring and I wrestle. When I first started wrestling, I didn't even know I was chain wrestling. I was chain wrestling, and I didn't know I was chain wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And they were saying, "Oh, she's a very good chain wrestler," and I was like, "What is chain wrestling?"
Uh-huh.
So I find it it's almost the same to me. The training is almost the same, but I never make the training easy on both ends. I always try to make it harder. Every time I feel like I catch myself kind of being in like an easy routine, I try to make it harder for me.
Mm-hmm. You said Leilani, she noticed something in you, and after you found out, a lot of about her career and her history, did that like sink in? Like, oh, this is something special. I should be really proud that someone that who's done a lot has noticed something in me.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's always an honor, and I'm always grateful to have people like Leilani who are a name to support me, and that's what I look for the most. I look for support, moral support more than anything, because the physical I have, the personal support I don't have, because my family, they support me. They know I'm serious, but they don't quite understand, what I'm doing in the sport. Mm-hmm. And I explain it to them from time to time, and my mother will kind of listen, but, she still goes back to, well, I would rather see you, become like a nurse or a doctor or a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, she's not like 100%, she doesn't agree with me 100% with my career. So having like someone like Leilani who completely understands me and, wants this for me is a great deal.
Yeah.
So I take appreciation of that.
Women's MMA is really taking off in the UFC and other MMA companies. Is that something you still would like to do, or are you strictly going to do professional wrestling now?
Well, I mean, at this point, I'm taking one career at a time. 5 years ago today, if somebody came up to me and said, "Hey, Pat, guess what? You're going to be a professional wrestler, under Leilani Kai and, all these other people," I would have looked at them and said, "Man, somebody get this crazy person out of my way." And I would probably not have believed them. So anything can happen, especially in my life, anything, I'm living proof, to myself that anything's possible. So, and if the time is right and, and if it feels right, then certainly I'm going to take it on.
Mm-hmm. Now, your nickname is the Gamer. Where did that come from?
Well, I'm a gamer. I play video games on my spare time. Lately, I haven't had any time, but I started. I've been playing video games my whole life, and it's just something that I really enjoy doing. I started playing like FPS shooter games when I was 16 years old. And I got really good at it. I was like, man, this feels really good, to be always number one and owning everybody. Mm-hmm. And literally it was like that. Like, I was the only girl, kind of like pwning everybody, all the guys. And then I started like beating their like best players. And for like the longest time, they thought I was hacking. And yeah, I'm serious. Black Ops 1, I got kicked out of every U.S. server, every U.S. domination server, because they thought I was hacking. I kid you not.
Did you think that's because you were so good, or do you think it was because you were good and you happen to be female?
Both. Definitely both. Man, there's so much hate around that. They hate it. I don't know what they hate more. If, like, I own them or I'm better at them at the game, or because I'm a girl and I look good and I still own them.
Yeah.
Did you ever have, like, any 8-year-old kids just yelling obscenities at you?
What? No.
You get that sometimes on the Xbox Live.
That's true. That's true. I remember this one time there was this 8-year-old kid that they were picking on, and he was so cute, and I was like kind of protecting him, and he was on my team, and I felt like I was like an older sister or something, and I was like protecting him from the other team because they were picking on him, and they were saying like, you know, get out of here, you little kid, you know, being mean to him, and I was kind of like protecting him, like just stay behind me, and I'll own them all for you.
I remember back in the days I would play Counter-Strike, and people, they would come up after they've killed you, and then they would like lean down onto your face, and they would call that teabagging. Have you perfected that move
Oh
yet?
my god, yeah, I've been a victim to that, but I teabag him too. I get back at them, though.
I'm like a pitfall on the Atari 2600 guy, so I'm not really what these games are.
Well, I'm down with that as well. What was like your first console you have? And I could probably tell how old you are.
Oh, you can tell how old I am now?
Just by what console it was the first one that you owned.
The very first one I owned was the Super Nintendo.
Super. Okay. So.
Yeah, the gray and purple one.
Okay. So you're probably like, well, women don't tell their age, so I probably shouldn't say.
Oh,
but I know because I'm the man.
You're only as old as you feel, man. No, I'm 24, and I have no problem saying it.
I was big. I do like the Super Nintendo and N64. That was my gaming days.
Really? And you just kind of stopped?
I did. OIB here. He's really big into the games.
Oh yeah, I'm a freak. I've got NES games on my wall right now, and I have a little list where I mark them off and everything. So yeah.
Nice. Big
copy of Earthbound up there. Does that do anything for you?
Wait, what?
Earthbound? Super Nintendo? I have a complete copy.
Okay.
Damn.
That's great, man. That's great. Awesome. You should send me some pictures or something.
Well, it's only worth about $800 on eBay.
Oh, wow. Okay. Are you selling it?
No, I just look up how much things are, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's silly.
Yeah. Well, I was told that you were born in Armenia.
Yes, I was.
So how old were you when you came over to the States?
I was, to be exact, I was 1 year and 9 months.
Okay.
According to my mother. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So it wouldn't have been a big difference when you're that young coming over to the United States.
No, not at all.
Mm-hmm. No. Mm-hmm. How did you get involved in WoW?
I was actually looking, I saw them online, and they posted a notice for casting. They were looking for, I guess, females, 18 to 30 or whatever, and they said they were looking for WoW superheroes. When I first saw WoW, I thought World of Warcraft. And I'm like, wow, why are they casting for WoW?
Wizards of War.
Yeah. Exactly. So it took me a minute to find out that it was for wrestling. And I'm like, okay, interesting. So, I just went into their auditions, and that was it. They just called me up and said, coming to training at this date and this time, and I took it on from there.
Mm-hmm. Now, how different is it, from training to when you're actually in front of the live crowd? And I guess your theater background would have helped you prepare for, actually performing in front of, a bunch of people.
Yeah. I actually love performing in front of people more than training. I don't know. I don't know if it's the people's energy. It probably is, because their energy is so big, and they're there to have so much fun, and I don't know, I just feed off of everyone's energy, and I have a good time.
Yeah.
And I guess it's like, something in my blood, I love action, so,
Now,
something that...
A lot of wrestlers I've talked to over the years, of course you have to go to like a school to train, the basics and stuff. But a lot of people say that how you really learn is actually having the matches in front of people and working with other people. Do you find that to be true?
Sure, absolutely. That's how you gain your experience, and then eventually that's how you become comfortable in front of the audience. Mm-hmm. And doing that from a very young age already, that built me up, with theater and the dance, because I've been performing my whole life in front of people, and I've sang in front of people, play the piano recitals in front of people. So I've done a lot, and I'll tell you something though, it doesn't get easier. Like, the nerves kind of lessen, but there's always nerves, and there's always that little voice in your head that kind of, is always there. You just get better at ignoring it. It never really goes away.
Yeah. No, I was at NWA Legends Fan Fest last year in Charlotte. And,
really?
Yeah, and I remember someone, a young girl who was in the ring training, they had the seminar there, and she got her head busted open, and they rushed her into the bathroom. And I brought this up to Leilani Khan. At the time, I didn't realize that was actually you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember her too. Yeah, that was me.
Yeah. So what happened there?
Well, the guy was given specific instructions to do like a 3-minute, training match, for the fans, and and he just kind of, I guess he went against all the instructions that he was given. Mm-hmm. So he just, he roughed me up, man. He roughed me up, and I didn't complain mm-hmm. because I needed to stay professional, but man, if we were somewhere else, if that was a different kind of ring and all those people were in there, he would have gotten his. And I was ready to give his. I was ready. Mm-hmm. But, Tom Pritchard, stopped it because I started bleeding. But everything he did was wrong, and he knew it. And in a weird way, I felt like some people were in on it. I don't know why. I just felt like some people were in on it. Like
we're gonna, since you were the only girl there in the training, do you think that was like the reason we're gonna show her?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Why not? Let's rough her up. Mm-hmm. Why not? Let's show her, a little something. She thinks she's a fighter. She thinks she's all that. Let's show it to her. I don't know. I might be wrong, but it just, the whole thing didn't make sense to me.
From the other trainers there, or from the guy you were in the ring with, or all of them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could be. I don't know, but it might as well could be. And again, like I'm not one to like point my fingers or anything, but it just didn't feel right. It felt like there was something more to it than I can really prove. Yeah. And I can't prove anything, but it didn't feel right at all.
Did you feel like people weren't comfortable with you being there even before this incident happened?
Maybe. Yeah, people like as in the guys, or
yeah, the people either you were training with or some of the people that were running the seminar.
Yeah, I think so. Pretty maybe even because Leilani was one of the coaches there. People knew that Leilani was protecting me, and I'm her protege, and people thought that I was getting it easy. In other words, and I don't like that. I don't like it when people, people talk about people who don't know me say, all right, this girl is probably getting handed over to her because, Leilani Kai is always talking about her and she trains with Leilani Kai. But what people don't know is Leilani Kai is 3,000 miles away from me. I live in Los Angeles and she's all the way in Orlando. Mm-hmm. And everything that I do, I really work my butt off. And I just, I want people to know that. I don't want people to think that everything that I get is all Leilani Kai.
Right.
As much as I love her.
Have you run into that at other conventions or other not maybe not conventions but other areas where people think that of you, that since you're with Leilani Kai, you either have it easy?
Yeah, almost all the time.
And
almost all the time, people think that I'm under her protection and she's guarding me 24/7. And look, like Lonnie, I love her to death. She's like a second mother to me, but she's not there 24/7. She more or less she's there for me. She's giving me moral support. She talks to the business. She talks to me about the business, and she educates me on things that I need to know. If I have any questions, I go to her. But she's only been in the ring with me a number of times, training-wise. My main trainer is Steve Stasiak, and and I want to let people know that as well.
Mm-hmm.
But end of the day, we're like a big family.
Yeah. Do you also run in when you're at an event like that where it's you're the only woman? Do you still run into some of the older wrestlers or current wrestlers who have that thought, like women don't really belong here, or is that more of something you don't really come into anymore?
I don't think so. I think that wrestling has changed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Changed a whole lot. And I think at some point, women gave the impression, to men that we don't belong here. And as strange as it sounds, then I think that some women carry the way that they carry themselves in the ring was probably what started, to make people think that, but then there's always the stronger females, who go in the ring and, they show what's up.
Mm-hmm. Well, once you got into wrestling and, you really were interested in it and you started to love it and everything, were there certain female wrestlers that you would watch like tapes of that were before you and like that really inspired you?
Not really. I didn't watch a lot of wrestling. I did watch wrestling. I watched how the girls work. I liked, not inspired, but I liked certain things about some girls, and watching their matches. I liked the way that they did certain moves and, worked certain angles and, I love Wendy Richter.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love her. When I watch her, her presence, and she's so beautiful to me. She's one of my favorites that I like to watch. And of course, obviously, go ahead.
No, so you said you liked her presence. I was wondering what specifically you liked about Wendy Richter. Was it like her charisma and just the way she carries herself in the ring? And...
Mm-hmm. It was everything. The way she carried herself and her charisma. And she was so beautiful, it reminds me of Brooke Shields, and I love Brooke Shields. And I met Brooke Shields one time, and she did a show at my theater, and she was so beautiful and so sweet. Maybe that's what it is because she reminds me of Brooke Shields a lot.
Yeah. Nope. And another thing is, you said wrestling has changed a lot, how people see women in wrestling, and there are a lot more women in wrestling now than before. So, do you think? Well, maybe you can't compare it because you weren't around back then, but do you think that makes it harder to maybe easier to get in wrestling at all, but do you think that makes it harder to really succeed at a high level since there's more competition, there's so many women getting into wrestling?
Hey, the more the merrier, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, personally, I don't see it that way. I don't see it that way because I come from a place that none of these other girls come from, and I'm very confident with myself, and I don't stop, and I tend to not listen to people and not pay attention to what people talk about and their opinions, even people's opinion about me. I don't care about that. I used to kind of pay more attention, but right now it's none of my business what people think about me. But I don't see that and anything's possible. If you want to succeed, you go out there, you work hard enough for it, you can have it.
Mm-hmm.
But, a little luck helps too on the side.
So here in the chat room, President Clinton says Dr. Tom Pritchard read that guy the riot act for busting her open. He was also at the Fan Fest. Yeah. So,
Wait. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you? What are your thoughts on Dr. Tom Pritchard?
What did I talk to him about?
Yeah. What are your thoughts of him as during that seminar? Do you think he gives good advice for up and coming wrestlers?
Absolutely. I think he's an excellent trainer. His style was certainly, it was a little different than the way that I like certain holds I learned and certain moves that I learned in WoW. It was a little different. And I liked his style. Like, he had a different way of doing like a top wrist lock, than the way I was taught in WoW. And, the way he showed me seemed more, legit. It seemed more correct. He's definitely one to look out for if there's any, wrestlers who want to go train
mm-hmm.
and they're interested in wrestling. They should definitely go to his seminars. I highly recommend it.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, he is a guy that had a long history with WWE, so he has some knowledge of what they would be looking for with this.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Is that a goal of yours to get to the WWE?
I'm always willing to do business. Always. So if, I don't look into that. I know people ask me all the time about that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't sit here and dream of being in WWE one day. I stay in the moment and, I work and I make sure that I'm always ready. And when that day comes and WWE wants me, I'll be ready.
Mm-hmm. What about TNA? Would there be interest there?
And again, yeah, I'm always willing to do business. It would just depend.
Mm-hmm.
It would just depend what they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Any aspirations to drive a monster truck?
What?
Why the heck not?
Medusa, that's what she's doing nowadays.
Battle Medusa. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'll be the last thing on my list that I haven't done. I'll probably do.
Excellent.
Well, you can think about what you would call your monster truck, I guess, in the meantime.
Oh, I can name it?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not really familiar with the world of monster trucks, but we'll just assume.
Neither am I.
Enter here. He's the man.
Oh yeah, I'm going to all the monster truck rallies.
I know. When you first started wrestling for a while, you wrestled Santana Garrett, who was a pretty big name there. What was it like working with her?
It was awesome. She's so fun. She's so bubbly and so sweet and so nice. I really don't have anything bad to say about anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Even if here and there, they came off a little sour or,
we'll
they might
get it
have
out
said
of
something. I dare you.
It's the dirt.
No, I'm serious. I'm like that. I forgive people really easily because I know it's not personal. How you never know. Maybe they had a bad day. Maybe something went wrong and they got a bad phone call from home. But I don't take things personally. And that's something that I also picked up in martial arts is, I got clipped with a good shot last time. I got caught with an elbow and my nose started bleeding. But I didn't take it personally. I hugged him. We're family. It's okay. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
But Santana, going back to that, she was really fun and, really nice. And, we went out there and we danced. We had a good time.
I know a lot of people talk about your match with Jungle Girl, and how is that different than your matches with Santana Garrett or with other people? How does it stand
Very
up?
intense.
Mm-hmm.
Very intense. It was like the complete opposite of Santana. I was tangoing with Santana, and then all of a sudden somebody dropped the bomb at me with Jungle Girl. She's very intense, and Jungle equally works as hard. Her training, is probably much more different than mine, and she's one of those people where, we're so alike in a sense, but we're very different at the same time. And she was looking for someone like me. She was looking for someone to challenge her and, kind of, send her off the edge. And I think that's what I pretty much did. But, I had a great match. It was really, again, equally as great, working with her. And I was hoping to have a rematch with her sometime soon, but, she just wasn't up for it. Or, I don't know, something must have happened along the lines that I don't know about. But that was unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. Now, what was it like? Because I know you did a film. It was called Rush, and Randy Couture and Dolph Lundgren was in that movie. What was it like being on set of that?
The title got changed to Ambushed, but that's okay. But it was really fun. I had a great time. Just going there. It was a really small part, and and people make it a bigger deal than it actually is. Like I was actually in like 3 scenes, like. Mm-hmm. Like in a briefing scene, or 2 briefing scenes, and rating the Dolph in 1 scene. But it was really fun. Everybody was really nice, and we're like a big family, and I was supposed to originally stunt double the main actress, but the actress got recasted, and the new actress was a lot shorter than me, so I couldn't double her anymore. She was like, I think like 5'3", and I'm like 5'7". And yeah, but then as soon as they found out that I'm an actor, besides just a stunt actor, I can act. They're like, hey, let's put her in the movie. And I said, yay, why not?
That's very cool. Did Dolph ever say like, I must crush you?
I must break you.
No, no. Why would he say that?
Because that's a famous line from Rocky IV.
Yeah, but he would have said that to me.
I would have just went up to him and asked him to say it and recorded it.
Whatever he hits, he destroys.
No, he was really nice and really relaxed. But I can definitely see myself working with them again if the opportunity arises.
Yeah.
So it was a good time. I missed them.
Mm-hmm. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Is there any women out there that you watch either on TV or on on the independents that you'd really like to work with at some point?
I cut my cable 2 years ago. I haven't really watched any television for 2 years now. But what?
I'm just gas. I can't believe it. No cable.
You can't believe it?
I couldn't live. I need my storage
I got tired of it, man. I got tired. I was turning on the TV and all I saw was the Kardashians, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't get away. And I was like, I can't, I don't want to see this anymore. But having the internet, of course, you can
watch
that's how I.
You want on the internet. So.
No, there's Total Divas. That's Jack's favorite show.
I did not watch it. Sorry.
Oh my God! Let me tell you guys like a quick story.
Yes.
You're not gonna believe wrestling is the most stranger than fiction business I have ever been involved in. My first trip to the East Coast in July. Okay, primetime shuttle was picking me up 5 a.m. in the morning to catch my flight. And the girl that I sat next to, her name was like Miriam or something. She was Armenian. We got into a little small talk, what is she doing? And then she asked me eventually, where am I going? And I told her, I was going to wrestle training. And she said, oh, really? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, why? And then she's like, my cousin is actually dating one of the divas from WWE right now. And I said, oh, really? That's cool. Yeah, right. I didn't believe her. And then, I randomly saw an episode of Total Divas, and the guy, I forgot her name. I'm so bad with it. One of the girls. The black
Cameron.
girl. She, probably. She's the one that, raps. I think she raps or something. Yeah, but her boyfriend is Armenian, and she has, some music studio in Hollywood, out here in Hollywood, California. And I was like, oh my God, look at that. I ran into his cousin.
Man. I've actually never seen the show, but Intra is a big fan.
Really?
I need my Total Divas.
I watched like one episode, like 30 minutes. I think it was like 20 minutes of it. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched part of it. I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. You know what? It reminds me of the Kardashians. I don't know why. I feel like Kardashians started this thing with reality, on the E, and then every other reality show that was coming up, like everything was like the Kardashians to me. I just don't know why, but I just see it that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll be honest, the show really doesn't interest me, but I know a lot of people are big fans of it. So that's cool, I guess.
What's your finisher
go back
move?
To your question. Oh, I was going to tell you who I want to wrestle.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. And then we'll get to this intro. That's a good one, though.
Okay. Well, I would really want to wrestle the Awesome Kong, Karma.
Mm-hmm.
She's the one that I can't wait to get my hands on.
Former guest of the show, I'm a big fan of hers as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Awesome. She really is awesome.
Yeah. That'd be a hell of a match.
Yeah. Oh, you bet. I can promise you that one.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, Incher wants to know, what were you going to ask, Inchman?
Your finishing move. What is it?
Well, one of my main finishers is the Huna Kurana.
Okay.
That's the one that... And then I have another one that I call a crucifix pin, and it's the one that I beat Melissa Coates in Georgia last year in November. And it's one that's never been done before in wrestling. You kind of have to see it. I can't really describe it, but, I get her to a position where, I take the arm, I do an axe kick over the arm, and that causes her to, land on the on her palms and on her knees, and I'm still holding her arm, and then with my legs, I'm holding her arm. And then I roll over her and I catch her other arm with my hands, and I pin her like on her shoulders. So her arms are both pinned.
Very cool.
Excellent.
Yeah. It's kind of weird to describe it.
How did you come up with this move?
Well, martial arts, obviously. Everything, like, there's certain moves that I do, like, in martial arts, like the axe kick, and I'm like, well, I should, try to incorporate this and, use it in my wrestling. So I use a lot of, like, martial arts techniques, and there's so much I can do. Like, I can always create new things and new moves, which is, like, what I love doing, is I like to create things that I haven't really seen.
Mm-hmm. I'm a beast with the nunchucks. Does that do anything for you?
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. I love working with the nunchucks.
Oh, excellent.
They're fun. Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah.
X-Pac, he was pretty good with them.
X-Pac?
Yeah, X-Pac and what's his name? Larry Zbyszko. He called him the Noonchuck, so.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Larry Zbyszko used him back in the AWA days.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the 80s.
Oh, wow, that's cool. What did they do with it? Did they just come out with it and do like a snake, or did they actually take it to the ring?
I think X-Pac was pretty decent with him. Was Larry any good with him, Jack?
Well, honestly, I never understood why Larry Zbyszko had nunchucks. But that was back when I was like 10 or maybe, and I don't know. I just watched wrestling, and I was like, oh, this is weird. This guy's got nunchucks and a ninja, but I don't know. I guess it's cool. But
they actually wanted me to do that in WoW. They wanted me to come out with nunchucks. I was like, what?
Has anyone come up with any weird gimmicks for you besides the one you currently use?
Yeah, they tried to, but I stopped them.
Any ones you like?
They were gonna name me Avatari. Like,
so,
exactly.
So you'd be like, would you paint your body blue?
I don't know. That's the first thing that came, to my mind when they said Avatari. I guess I guess because they knew I was a gamer, they thought of Atari, and yeah. And then the Avatar, the movie, the Avatar. They're like, Avatari, that was hot back then. They're like, what do you think of it? Avatari. And he was saying it with, passion. He was acclaimed. And I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Atari is very popular with the kids these days.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Avatar.
But I wasn't gonna be Avatari, no matter how popular it was.
That's pretty good. Any other ones?
Yeah, I think they also wanted to put me in a Spartan outfit, like Xena. They wanted to make me like a Xena. I know.
Oh, Xena.
So I was gonna come out as a female Spartacus. Can you imagine?
That would be something. Another one.
I know.
Xena, that's that is not relevant at all at the moment.
Yeah. They wanted to do all sorts of effed up things with me.
Well, that's good though. I think a lot of people overlook that in wrestling, that you have to stand up for yourself if someone wants to do something with you that you don't think would work. To be able to say, no, I don't want to do that.
Come on, you have a mind of your own.
Yeah.
Do it.
I agree. I just think some people will, anything someone offers them, they're going to do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. No. But, sometimes you have to just negotiate.
Yeah.
And especially in business, you don't always get what you deserve, but you get what you negotiate.
Mm-hmm. Now, you mentioned Melissa Coates. I know that match was on iPay-per-view. And what are your thoughts on the iPay-per-view? And do you think that's going to be something that's be around for a while and will take off bigger than it is now, especially for independent companies?
Yeah, I'm sure. And I mean, it should. We were the only girls. We had the only Divas match, so it was really fun. It was really cool working with her. It was different. Melissa, she's really strong, but it was different. Definitely different than Santana and Jungle.
Mm-hmm.
I always like to, I don't trust everybody in the ring. I trust myself only when I'm in the ring. So regardless of how good they are, how inexperienced they are, I always like to make sure that, I'm almost leading the match. Mm-hmm. But, we went out there and we had a good time. We were on a really good card, with Ric Flair and X-Pac and, Scott Hall.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, yeah, it was good. It was fun.
Do you feel any difference between being the only women match on a card as opposed to an all women's wrestling card?
There's definitely more pressure on you, I would suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're the only girls, and they're there's more attention. They're like, all right, let's see what the girls are going to do. I guess the expectation is a little more higher when you're the only female on a card.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I suppose. But, yeah, I exceeded their expectations, I hope.
Yeah. So what do you think is the most important characteristic to have to really make it as a female wrestler? Do you think it's do you think you kind of have to have a total package nowadays of looks and ring ability and charisma?
I think it's a total package, if you ask me. But nowadays it's a very cosmetic business at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So you definitely need to look the part. I believe that looking the part is very important. And if you don't, then everybody else will be doing it. But generally, you have to have it all. You have to look good. You have to be hardworking. You have to be smart. You have to be athletic. But I don't know. That's what I feel. I'm just telling you how I feel that, how I would do it. For everybody else is different. Everybody else, somebody might have gotten lucky, or somebody might have better timing to be where they are. But I think that for the most part, they look for the total package, and if you're it, then you're it.
Let everybody know if you would like to find Tatevik on social media, on Facebook. You go to facebook.com/WowTatevik, and we'll have the link right on the website, so you can click on it.
Awesome.
Yeah. I want to thank you for coming on tonight.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Excellent. And I wish you all the luck in the future here in the world of wrestling.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
This is Dr. Tom Pritchard saying listen to InYourHeadOnline.com for all the latest, the greatest, and superstars that you want to hear.